So welcome back. In today's video, we are going to try to build something interesting. We are going to try to build a pyramid. Yeah, for a junior developer, you can try something like this. It will work, but it is more inaccurate. You can do something more better. So when you compare this, you see that it is working. But this is so tiresome to build these stars, to give some spaces. This is so tiresome. But what if you can do this in a more simpler way? So that's the simpler way that we are going to look at today. So we shall begin by initializing our total rows that we want to build. Remember, a pyramid consists of rows. By rows, I'm meaning these ones here. When you see here, this is the first row, the second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. So we are going to, I first initialize how many rows is my pyramid going to have. So the next thing that I will do is I will create a for loop. Now, the main context of this loop, yeah, it is going to control how many rows the pyramid will have, and how and on each row what are the things that I should do on a row. And when you see on this row, I'm giving a star and some space. So it's through this for loop that will help me access a single row. So I use a for loop here. For loop, I first initialize my first variable, which is int. This is going to be my this will represent my single row. So in this case, we shall begin by row 1. We set my condition. Remember, you're going to be looking through the condition. This shouldn't exceed our rows, our total rows. In this case, which is 5, should be less or equal to, yeah, something like this. Then the next thing that we do, we shall increment. So what will this do? We first initialize our variable, in this case, which is 1. So we are saying that you increment our variable, but you shouldn't go below our rows, in this case, which is 5, meaning it will look through our rows one by one, one by one, one by one, but it shouldn't exceed the set condition. This is our condition in this case. So inside each row, what should be done? The next thing that I will do is I will add some spaces. Remember, the thing that makes our pyramid nice is the spaces that we give around. So I'll give some space, but the spaces I'm going to give are going to depend on each and every row. So the first row, we have more space than the second row going down. So I'll use another for loop. In this case, I'll say for. I will initialize another variable. In this case, I'll call it like here. I'll begin by the first row, set it 1. So what will be our condition? Our condition will be j should be less or equal to, so the rows, total rows, minus our current row, which is I, and we increment j. So what will this do? This simply, because remember we have to give some space, but space has to be depending on the current row. Depending on the current row. Remember, you're going to be looping through our rows. This first loop that we did is going to be looping through the rows. So depending on the rows, we get our total rows. We less the current row. Meaning, if we are on row 1, what will be done? We shall get our, remember, these rows are these ones. They are coming from these ones. We shall get our total rows, which in this case, which is 5, and we less 1 if we are on row 1. So if we go, remember, this is going to be looping through the rows. If we go on row 2, this will be like 2. In this case, the answer will be like 3. This was 1. This will be 4. You get? And if you get this, and if we are on row 2, this will be like 3. So basing on this condition, we are going to be able to give some spaces. In this case, we shall give 4 for the space, 3 for the space, but depending on the current row, remember, we are going to be looping. The main context of this first loop that we did, we are going to be looping through each row. We are going to be having access to each row like that. So in this case, after understanding this loop, I'll say system.out. We are printing out spaces, remember? So I'll say space in this case. So after this, the next thing that we do is we are going to give some stars. We are going to create some stars depending on the current row. So I'll do another for loop here. So depending on the row, first initialize, I can call this k. Okay, we are going to begin at star 1. So what will be our condition? Our condition will be, remember, uh, the more we go down, the more stars we are going to be accumulating. Meaning, on the first row, we shall have like 1 star, and the second row, we shall increase on the stars like that, like that. But depending on the what, on the total rows that we have. Meaning here, I will say k should be less or equal to. So what should be done here? I'll call our brackets here. I will say 2. I'm going to explain this. How many stars do we want here? On the first row, I want 2. 2 times the rows that we have minus 1. Yeah, something like this. I'm going to explain. Then increment our, okay. So what is this going to produce out? Simply this is going to we are setting our star for, but for our star we want to, this is the main condition that is going to control the creation of our stars. What is this going to do? This will add a star for the current row, meaning this, if our current row is 1, so we shall get 1 times 2 minus 1 minus 1. Why are we lessing 1? We want to get, because if you get before lessing 1 times 2, this will be 2. But remember, on the first row, we want like 1 star. We have to less 2 minus 1. This will automatically bring out 1. Hopefully, you are getting me. So if we go on the second row, let me say we are on the second row, this will be 2 times 2. This will be 4. But remember, we have to decrease by 1. This will automatically be 3. Meaning we are going to, the answer, depending on the current row, we are going to be generating our stars. Hopefully I'm clear here. Yeah, like that. This is going to be continue. This is going to continue, but basing on our rows. These rows here, give here some space. Basing on these rows here, remember these rows, this row comes from this variable that I'm setting. We are going to be having access to a single row. So on the row, we are going to do this formula basing on the stars that we want. For the first row, we want 1 star. Second row, we increase on the stars like that. So that will produce what we want, our desired output. So here we are printing out a star. Yeah, in this case, we are printing out a star. So what should be done again? So let me try this and we see if it's going to work as expected. So you see that we are getting the desired outcome, but the stars are being aligned vertical. This is mainly caused by the print in. Remember, what the print in does is that it will print something to a new line, which we don't want. We want this whole logic is going to happen on one line on each row. We should remove the in. Let me compile again and we see. Compile. Then run. You will see that we have successfully given out some stars, but I think we should give another, this should be on each line and this should be on each line. So basing on our loop, our main loop, if the first loop runs, we should give some space, meaning here I can come and I say system.out here and I leave it like this, print a new line. After, on each iteration, a new space will be given, or the next iteration will be on the next line. So let me compile this and we see. Compile, then run. Oh, we have successfully printed out our pyramid. Yeah, so that's how you can print a pyramid. Here you can use other symbols. You can use the hash and try out the hash. See the outcome. Print. Yeah, you can see that everything is working as we intended. So this is more simpler than writing our stars. The other one was more hectic, and this one will test you even more further. What you can do, you can try out to invert the stars, beginning from the biggest going to the lowest. Oh, thank you for today.